Good morning, everybody.
Hi there. Simon and I are going to be your co-hosts here in Halifax, and we are excited to be part of this great conference that we know is happening kind of all across the province. So pray for us around technology and linking between sites. Before we get started, I'm going to read a land acknowledgement. We begin by acknowledging that we are in Mi'kma'ki, the traditional territory of the Mi'kmaq people. We also acknowledge that people of African descent have been in Nova Scotia for over 400 years, and we honor and offer gratitude to those ancestors of African descent who came before us to this land. My name is Anna McCory, along with Simon. I'm going to be one of your MCs for today. I come to this conversation wearing a number of hats, including I am a mom. I have 3 kids with disabilities, so for me, the remedy is inspiring and hopeful, and it is for me about building a different future for them. So I'm really honored and excited to be here and part of this. Simon, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi there. My name is Simon Snyder. I'm also the president of People's First Halifax, and I'm also a board member with Inclusion Nova Scotia. And I do a lot of community work as far as disabilities. And I'd just like to thank you all for coming. And hopefully one of these days, the kind of conferences won't be needed, because back in the 70s, I'll tell you a little bit, I went to school at the Troy Youth Training Center in Bible Hill. It was a residential school. It was hell on earth. And when I go around talking to people, some people, they went to the same school different times as me. They found it hell on earth as well. The only place I found at that school it was I had a good time was at the swimming pool. The rest of the school, you give me keys to a dozer, I bulldoze the rest of the buildings on that site. You know, that's the way I feel about it. I leave the pool standing and bulldoze the rest. If you know, I never drove a dozer in my life, but I got family that can show me. You know, and like I say, talking about it, gets me upset, but it's got to be done. And like I say, hopefully, talking about things like this, if things happened in the past, will not happen again. Well, thank you. Thank you. Things have improved a tiny bit over the last 10 to 15 years for people with disabilities, but we have a hell of a long way to go. It's a good start, but like I said, we got a long ways to go. Thank you.
I'm going to stay here. So. Thank you, Simon. And I think it's really inspiring to have your strength and bravery and sharing your stories, and to all of the people with disabilities, to all of the families who are here today. I think that is our stories that are going to change the direction, that are going to make sure that Simon's experience isn't repeated again, and that we can build a new outcomes for people. And this is about rebuilding hope. So I think we're all here to sort of share our stories and our perspectives. So thank you for that, Simon. It is great to be back here again at the second Rebuilding Hope Conference. If you joined us last year, you would remember that we had people in 4 regions in the province and people joining us online and in watch parties. Because we are in many places, that also means our speaker today are located in different spots. So we might need a few seconds as we transition from one spot to another and get everything arranged. If you're watching this at a watch party or if you're watching this at home and there's a pause, don't worry. We're probably on track and going to figure it out, but we're just trying to make sure that everything's going smoothly so that everyone can have a great experience. So before we get started, there are a few things for people to know. There are a team of support people who are available. So people helping at each location. If you have a question or need some help, ask someone in a blue t-shirt like the one I am wearing. Washrooms, I'm not going to pretend I know where the washrooms are in all locations. So therefore, we have been able to say there are signs in each location to show where the washrooms are. You can also ask the people in blue shirts if you need any help or direction with that. Same with fire exits. At each location, fire exits are clearly marked, and the support team will guide you to the nearest exit in case of emergency. There are some quiet rooms that are available because we know that sometimes people need a break. Each location has a quiet room, and this is a space for anyone who needs to take a moment for themselves away from the conference. A quick note around photography. Each location has a photographer that will be taking lots of photos, and some of those photos might be used to promote the work of the department, to promote the remedy. So for example, if you visited the DSP website, you will see some of the photos from last year's conference. If you do not want your photo taken, that's fine, or photo used, that is fine. What we ask is that in some locations, they have a red lanyard. Here in Halifax, we have red stickers. So if you do not want your picture used in public facing materials, just put a red sticker, if you're here in Halifax, onto your name tag. Other locations, please make sure you have a red lanyard on. I invite hosts in the other locations maybe to show what the red lanyard looks like. And that way, when it comes time to going through pictures, anyone with that red dot or a red lanyard, that picture wouldn't be published. So you may get a picture taken today, but it would not be used in any promotional materials or in any public way. Handbook. Inside your fancy little swag bags, you will find that we have created a handbook for the conference. That is yours to keep and do and use as you wish. It has pages in the back to take notes or to doodle, leave blank, whatever works for you. And then if you are joining us virtually, any instructions for you will be on your screen. Oops, sorry, that would have been loud for anyone online. I apologize for that. And then following the conference, you're going to be asked to fill out a conference survey. So we hope you'll participate by providing feedback to help ensure that future events can also continue to reflect what individuals are looking for. And with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Simon, and we are going to really kick off the conference, and we're going to start by introducing the regions, the other hosts in the other regions.
Devon, come on up here.
All right, and then we're done.
Thanks, Simon. You're welcome, bud.
How's it going, everyone? My name is Devon Bundy, and I'm the Regional Hub Manager for Central Zone. It's super bright and intimidating up here. This is my first Rebuilding Hope conference, and I'm excited to be here. Central Zone is the biggest region with the most amount of participants in the program. And with that said, we'll kick it over to our folks in the Northern region. The group is joining us from the Pictou Community Wellness Center.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Adam Fraser. I am the Regional Hub Manager for the Northern Region. It's a beautiful day here, and the Northern Region, if people don't know, covers the Cumberland, Colchester, Pictou, Antigonish, and Guysborough counties. And this is my co-host today, Evan.
Ivan.
Oh, my apologies. Yeah. Okay.
Honest mistake.
It is, yeah. All right, do you want to do it?
Sure.
Great.
Thank you, Adam. Hi, everybody. My name is Ivan Willis, and I will be your co-host for today. I have lived here in New Glasgow at home with my family my whole life until I was 24 years old. And then I found my own apartment, and I've been living with HCRS in the ILS program for 3 years. I work at Proudfoot's Home Hardware and am in charge of the inventory. I am an active member with People First Pictou County chapter, and I speak on behalf of People First to groups and at events. In my spare time, I volunteer at the food bank by helping deliver groceries to people who can't go to the food bank themselves because they may not have a vehicle to drive. In the past, I would also use part of my spare time going around town picking up garbage, and I'm involved with Go Clean, Get Green. I also fundraise for Roots for Youth by walking on the coldest night of the year. If I have the opportunity, I like donating to charities. I join Special Olympics and love to golf and bowl with a group of people. I'm often seen walking around town and am very social and well known in my community. I would like to point out that I'm not just about all these things. I'm about striving to be the best person I can be in general by always being sensible, responsible, punctual, kind, honest, helping, being there for one another, hardworking, and willing and wanting to try and learn new things. And I feel very fulfilled because life is all about these things. This is what life is all about. Now, everybody has value and worth, regardless of their background or circumstances. But by striving to be them, you can create positivity and have a lasting impact on yourself and others. I would like to say, please don't feel obligated to participate in your community if you're busy. But if you do have the time, I encourage you to get involved and see the positive changes you can create. Well, thanks everybody for coming to listen to me, and I thank you all for coming to listen to me, and I'm happy to be a part of this. And thank you, Adam Fraser. You're back on now.
Thanks, Ivan. Well said. I'm going to turn it over to my counterpart in Eastern, Diana.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you, Adam and Ivany. Good morning from Member 2. I am Diana Pori, and I'm the Regional Hub Manager for the Eastern Region. I am here with Mary Agnes from Waikaga First Nation. The Eastern Region encompasses all of Cape Breton, and our welcoming personalities make a difference to help people with disabilities. So we can all work together and we can make our communities more inclusive. So I'm wondering if you would like to say a few words, Mary Agnes? Sure. Okay.
Hello, everybody. I'm sorry for the tilted head. I'm bowing to everybody. Myself, I am an elder. I live in Waikaga, but I'm originally from Membertou. I have family, friends, and relatives here, but I had lived in a little reserve that, well, it was the very first reserve in Cape Breton. It was called Mullagawat. I lived there for over 50 years until I got sick. And when I got sick, I started getting tumors and all that bad stuff. But I've managed to get through it. My disability, I have a hard time walking. My head is tilted for this reason, because of this disorder I have. I am trying very hard. I got a bad memory, but that's due to my medication. But I am so happy to be here. This is the first time I had to speak in public to anybody. But I enjoy seeing all these beautiful faces, and I'm happy that all the people from the region are here. Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us today, Mary Agnes. I have to say, for your first time speaking in public, you've done a great job. Thank you. It's great to co-host with you today. So now I will send it over to the Western region.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Linda Jensen. I'm the Regional Hub Manager for Western. Just wanted to say here in the Middleton group, we want to let those of you who have mobility issues, if you need refreshments or something to eat and it's too hard to get to the cafeteria, just wave one of our helpers down and we'll try to give you a hand. I'm here today with two people, John Cox and Huey Langford, and they're my co-hosts this morning. Western region is one of the largest regions with 8 counties, and it goes from Hants County down the Bay of Fundy to Yarmouth and Shelburne counties, and then it goes up the eastern shore or south shore of the Atlantic Ocean to Lunenburg County. We're a hardworking and friendly crew who know how to take on challenges and make things better for our neighbors. Now that we know better, we're ready to do better and support people with disabilities in our communities.
Hi everyone. I am Huey Langford and I am a People First member, and I am also on a disability advisor board committee. This is my second conference, and I am happy to be here. Thank you. Me now?
Yep.
Hello, my name is John Cox, and I'm a founding member of People First of Canada and People First Nova Scotia, and I am now living in Yarmouth, Nova Scotia. I am also on the National Advisory Committee for Poverty for the federal government, whose mandate is to reduce poverty in Canada by 50% by the year 2030. And most recently, I've been a content creator for the Nova Scotia Community College on the human rights approach to delivering services, which is a great course, and in my opinion, every frontline staff person and manager should be taking this course, because there needs to be a shift in how people deliver services. Thank you.
Thank you, John and Huey. It's a privilege to co-host with you today, and I look forward to working with you in the future to support the people in Western Region.
Thank you.
Now we have a special treat. We have Will Brewer, the official town crier for the Old Town Halifax, reading a proclamation. Unfortunately, Will couldn't be with us, so he recorded a video that they'll play in just a minute. Will Brewer is no stranger to making change, advocating, and leading. He made history on July 1st, 2018, when he officially became the first town crier with Down syndrome in Canada. He now leads as the chair for the Halifax, Nova Scotia Down Syndrome Society Advocates Committee.
Oh, yay! Oh, yay! Oh, yay! Whereas the province of Nova Scotia is hosting the second Rebuilding Hope Conference. This event brings together individuals with disabilities, their families, service providers, advocates, and government officials to discuss critical issues, share experiences, and shape the future of disability support services in Nova Scotia. And whereas the Rebuilding Hope Conference stems from a human rights complaint leading to the 2014 report, the Human Rights Review and Remedy for Systemic Discrimination Against Nova Scotians with Disabilities. The report, commissioned by the Coalition and the Department of Community Services, outlines 6 directions with plans and timelines. The legally required outcome is to remedy discrimination against people with disabilities in Nova Scotia by 2028. And whereas we share a vision that people with disabilities be respected, be empowered to make their own choices, and be able to access the supports they need for personal and professional fulfillment. Therefore, I, Will McPherson Brewer, Town Crier for Old Town Halifax, offer best wishes to everyone involved in the second Rebuilding Hope Conference. We believe in a Nova Scotia where everyone belongs, should have the freedom and opportunity to equally experience, enjoy, and participate in everyday life in a community that welcomes you as you are. God save the King in all his glory.
Hello, everybody, again. My name is Mary Agnes, for those who don't know me. That was fantastic. Thank you to you, Will, for taking the time to do this for the conference. Next, I am pleased to welcome David Muse, Cultural Ambassador, who represents Membertou and are very passionate about his role.
David says that the role is important for the people and plays an impact on everyday life. David won the Vital Award back in 2021 and is very honored to have such a privileged award for the people of Unamuggy. Membertou had the chance to showcase his role on CBC's Still Standing with Johnny Harris. He sang and helped open the World's Women Curling Championship, the TELUS Cup, held in Membertou, Cape Breton Eagles games. David is also part of the Membertou Powwow Committee, which will be held August 1st, 2nd, and 3rd of this year. He resides in Membertou with his family and loves them very much. Please help me in welcoming David.
way higher, way. What we need is my way, all me, what's going on? Will not supposed to take away. What we need is coming, all I need. Then a man is down all day, but not coming, change what I'll see. What we need is coming, all I need. If we're getting money, no, did fire. You. My way on me, what's going on? Well, I supposed to take away. What we not and it's coming, all I did me get. And the man that done no shape, but not coming, change what out the wall. What we not and no come out, all I did me get. Pepper money, no dead by what queen not my way, oh me, what's going on? Well, not want to take away. What's going on? Let's come in, all I did me get. None of me, I did not know, but I come in, change one out the wall. What's going on? No, come on, all I did me get. What's your name on it? No, this boy,
Gizolk, dan wetsterlik, with juice nick duk, ak dan kamaladiam, mi mawajernik, was get kamu, nu de winin. Men nagen adieg, ak nu dieg, kel king amodum, ak genis de woganum. Edamolek, is he baby daden, bimi elgaluk ik duk, ak nebi dunin, was asi, kagisi, melamog, musigisk, dis wak wasiaj na guset. Igen in winen, wel ik get mi de minen dan desik, gizidun, ak debi. Ne desteganadenen, noodlenin. Unse de wogen alenin, gulaman, weli unse testen, dela ginemu yeg. Ginewa, duinen, dan deli wajidugeg, ginamat de wo, jibit do, nibik duk, gizna gunduik duk. Nudayeg, melkigen odi mojit nachi get molotinen, ak wijik migijik. Gade wisi wiyagana minen, danik, maui, gidawo na mijik, naninen. Igen winen, debi weli il joltinen, gislit danan emin, golaman iga. Nakwe, gakienen, stage, nige wakwasi naguset. Ma untago nide, amagajik, mijiag, mijina, Litadich, Gitmiktik, Dan Amen.
Thank you, David. That was a prayer called Creator, and David suggested that it be read also in English so everybody could appreciate the powerful words in the Spirit. So I'll be reading it in English. Great Spirit, whose voice we hear in the wind, whose breath gives life to the world, hear us. We are weak. We need your strength and your wisdom. May we travel within your beauty, and may we see the majestic, multicolored sky at each sunset. We wish to respect all that you have made, that our hearing be sharp so that we may recognize your voice. Grant us wisdom so that we may finally appreciate all you have taught us. Guide us to where we may find your teachings, whether they be in a leaf or rock. We seek strength, not to be superior to our sisters and brothers, but only to use that strength against our worst enemies, ourselves. We humbly ask that you help us prepare well before we travel to where you reside, so that on our last day, when lives fade like the setting sun, we will not feel shame as our spirits return to you in your territory. Amen.
Thank you, David. Well, wait to start the conference. Minister,
No, not yet. I'm going to talk a little bit and then we'll throw it back to you.
all right.
Okay. So huge thanks to all of our speakers this morning. Really great to finally put names and faces to these regional hub managers who are so critical to the success of the remedy. And thank you to the co-hosts in each of the regions. Also, huge thanks to our tech team. Like, this is no small feat, so great and much appreciated. A little bit later, we are also going to be hearing from Tricia about how services are going to be delivered regionally and sort of the regional hub model. So this is important as it'll make sure you are supported in the community where you live. Next up, we are going to welcome Minister Scott Armstrong, who's joining us from Middleton this morning. Minister Armstrong is a bit of a road show for us today. He's going to be spending a bit of time in Middleton and then hopping in his car to come join us here in Halifax. Minister Armstrong was first elected to the Nova Scotia House of Assembly as MLA for Colchester-Musquodoboit Valley in 2024. He is currently the Minister of Opportunities and Social Development for Nova Scotia and sits on the Treasury and Policy Board. Minister Armstrong is a former school principal and served as the Member of Parliament for Cumberland-Colchester-Musquodoboit Valley from 2009 to 2015. He is a member of the Assembly Matters Committee, and Simon is going to welcome Minister Scott.
Minister Scott Armstrong.
Well, thank you very much for that warm welcome. I do want to acknowledge that we have over 1,200 people participating across Nova Scotia in Cape Breton, Pictou County, Halifax, and here in Middleton, as well as watch parties and people at home. So to all of you, I think you deserve a big round of applause for everyone participating today. And I want to thank you all for your invitation to join you. I believe this is a very important day, and it's an absolute pleasure to be here with you. As many of you know, my background is in education. I spent years in the classroom. I've taught every grade from grade 4 through grade 12, and at the university and even postgraduate level. I've been able to support students of all ages and of all abilities. I've seen firsthand the power of inclusion, not just on individuals, but on teachers, on classrooms, and in our communities. I saw it in the 10-year-old who eagerly put their hand up for the first time because they finally felt safe and supported enough to share their ideas with the class. I heard it in the ease of a parent's voice when they no longer had to spend all day worrying about whether or not their child was getting the supports they needed at school. And I feel that at community events, whether it's a festival, a meeting, or a conference, when the spaces are already designed to be inclusive, allowing everyone to participate fully without having to ask for accommodations. That is the Nova Scotia I want to live in, and I know it's the Nova Scotia you all want to live in. Earlier this month in the legislature, I spoke about a core truth. Every Nova Scotian deserves the opportunity to contribute to their communities and lead a good life. That belief is at the heart of the work we are all doing now together, especially in the implementation of the remedy. As we finish year 2 of this journey, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the dedication and collaboration that has brought us this far. Transformative change is not easy. It requires care, coordination, and most importantly, partnership. And I've had the privilege of meeting many of you already, and I'm deeply inspired by your commitment to building a system that truly works for those who rely on it. As Minister of Opportunities and Social Development, I want to assure you that I am fully committed to this work, not because it's required, because it's the right thing to do, and because it's going to make our province better for all Nova Scotians. Now, in recognition of this critical role families play in supporting persons with disabilities to live at home and in the community, I'm going to let you all in on a little secret, and I may get in trouble for it. But hey, I am the minister. So on Monday, we're going to be announcing we are increasing respite funding to reflect growth in the cost of living for flex individualized funding, direct family support for children, and alternative family support. Now, this will make it easier for you all to access the support you need and ensuring that caregivers get a much-needed break. This is a $9.3 million investment that'll help bridge us from the programs we have in place today to the individualized funding model we're building as part of the remedy. Your voices are at the heart of this process. You are the experts, and we cannot do this without you. Your insights, energy, and lived experiences are shaping the path forward, and I'm grateful to be part of it. Thank you for being here today and being part of this ongoing conversation. I hope you enjoy this conference, and I encourage you to ask questions and actively participate and share your thoughts and ideas of how we can build a better, more inclusive, and diverse Nova Scotia. I look forward to connecting with as many of you here this morning and in Halifax later today, and soon to get up to Cape Breton and Pictou County as well, because united, we're going to build a great Nova Scotia that supports all Nova Scotians from coast to coast, from Cape Breton to Yarmouth, and of all abilities, we are one Nova Scotia working together. Thank you all for participating. I'm looking forward to talking to many of you.
Thank you so much, Minister Armstrong, for your commitment and support of the work. It is so true when you say that the voices and words of those who we support are at the heart of this work, and that couldn't be more true about the person we will hear from next. I have the great privilege to welcome Todd Goyech, a poet and self-advocate who's going to read a poem he wrote for us. Todd originates from Jador, Nova Scotia, and is the author of 5 books of sonnets by the sea, written while he worked the night shift at a lobster seafood plant. His poems reflect the anticipation of Christmas and his love of life, which is consistently capitalized in his work. From a young age, Todd displayed a unique personality. A significant event in Todd's life occurred when he was 12 and was involved in a serious car accident, resulting in a severe head injury. This left him in a coma for 2 weeks, followed by an extensive period of rehabilitation. Todd maintained a positive outlook, a sense of humor, and a growing collection of poems. Over the past 4 decades, Todd has come to appreciate the profound impact the car accident had on him and uses this experience as a source of insights and a unique perspective on life. He now reads his poems with curiosity and respect, comparing them to the works of Dickinson or Blake. He views his verse as a form of consolation for loss. And on a personal note, I'd like to share how I met Todd. When I first started in this job, one day I received a beautiful handwritten letter in the mail from Todd. And being of an age, I still appreciate a handwritten note or a handwritten letter. And it was a beautiful letter. And he shared some of his poetry in the letter, and he gave me his phone number. So I gave him a call. We had a great chat. And Todd and I and his wife Stella chat on a regular basis just to check in and see how things are going. And he does provide an amazing perspective and is always writing new poems and sharing them with me. So on a personal note, I'm absolutely thrilled to introduce Todd, and I look forward to his sharing his poetry with you. Take it away, Todd.
Thank you. I have a few poems here. I wrote this on March 21st, 2025. Talking to my inner consciousness. Talking to my inner consciousness. Okay. Today I walked with the person within me, and he said, "Do not be afraid, for I am with you. The corners of your roads will be there, but yet walk with superiority, because you see me, for I see you. For I see you everywhere we go. Be careful, but please feel at peace, because we have made it through inclement storms again. Seasons change as we see." And this one is about an organization that's helping me better than any of the other organizations have in the past. September 30th, 2024, Jazz. The cry of a younger person is a noise some don't want to hear, but we must to know how much hardship is felt, and by almost everyone. It is good to reflect a bit and to take a bit out of your day to help demolish institutions for the realization of power within all people. They may crumble, but like all people, they rise again toward acceptance from brother to brother and sister to sister. Independence is what we all must gain. My wife has had a problem with throwing seizures, and she is now in the hospital for a few days. And this is a poem I wrote December 16, 2024. R.E. petit mal seizures. The reason I am telling you this is to make you more aware of the gravity of the situation. When someone is about to throw a seizure, the soundless body becomes unresponsive, and the unblinking eyes stare blankly ahead. The trembling body must be held in an invulnerable position for the duration of the episode. My wife was seated in a chair and trembling ever so slightly. I held firmly onto her shoulders and said, "Calm down," in a very slow way, over and over, to speak to the primitive side of the situation. After what appeared to be between 30 to 45 seconds, she seemed to slowly regain a handle on the situation. This, at first to me, reminded me of a time when I was in the same situation. Thank you. And one more. It's called Losing Loved Ones. I'm not sure when I wrote this. I think it's in one of my books. Losing Loved Ones. Believe there is a place we go when storms inclement do arise, where peaceful rivers always flow, beyond all pain when someone dies. There is a beautiful beyond, past meadows lush with memories, where harvesters do look upon, when time invites tranquility. Be brave and just allow your God some silence to begin the scene. Yet seek you not the needless sod, for love has moved to meadows green. With faith unending, seek true love, to help recover love you formed. It is all that witness stay above, yet keep a candle in the storm. Todd Goetsch. Thank you.
Thank you, Todd. Thank you, Todd, for speaking on behalf of everyone at this conference. We appreciate you. We appreciate you sharing your poem with us. Keep up the great work.
Thank you, Todd, for sharing those deeply moving and personal poems. I'd like to say we have another artist here with us today. Tim McDonald is an artist who created the painting, which is known as Transformation. We're pretty familiar with it. We see it on the cover of the pamphlet this year. He painted that in the year 2020 for the People's First Nova Scotia Annual General Meeting. Tim gave us permission to use his art as the logo for the first conference, people remember, and we're happy to be using it again this year. Tim began painting in 2018 at the local shop in New Glasgow that specialized in clay pottery, and where the owner encouraged Tim to paint and create with that clay. He exhibited a natural talent, and his paintings were hung in the shop for display for the public, and Tim became known as a local artist. The clay gallery closed and has now become a cafe where many of Tim's works continue to be showcased today, and he also works in the cafe now where his works are displayed. Tim, thank you for taking your time to be with us today. I'll get you to come up.
Good morning. Good morning to all concerned. Our committee and its foundation are built upon something greater than just one person, so being able to represent us and speak for our cause is truly an honor. I myself came from modest beginnings. A mom and pop home with two brothers and a supportive extended family. Plus, I lived with my grandmother on my father's side. My first experience with an institution was Thomas Lane, a place in Western Nova Scotia I felt did not suit my needs enough, and one whose ear did not hear my voice. All those experiences may be forgiven, yet I am glad I don't forget, so I have learned from them and can move forward. In September of this year, I moved to Birch Hill Drive in Thornton, a decision that made me feel happy. Rest assured, I did not feel happy at Thomas Lane, of course. Yet I did have my artistic endeavors and triumphs. And that's what helped shape me too, you know, and which helped me through feeling like I was worthless most of the time. But moving to Birch Hill has been a pleasurable experience. One that far outweighs living in a place that felt like a prison. I understand that many of you have had experiences that were worse than mine. By being able to write down and tell you mine, I hope to represent people first. Thank you for this honor, which I must say again, is bigger than me. My career as an artist began simply enough when I discovered a little place in the nook of downtown New Glasgow called Perfect Diversity. It was in this magical clay studio that I met a remarkably loving female who would reshape the structure of the endeavor to become the artist who I am today. Carrie Allen was the one who helped me to become a painter of abstract art, teaching me the technique of brushstroke and the broad array of influences among artists like Van Gogh, who have, of course, come before me, and other artistic techniques as well. Quickly, she became best friend and mentor of mine. Also, I took a clay studio course of hers, and it was fun. Thank you for this honor, which I must say again, is bigger than me. I hope my contribution helps. It has been an honor to speak on this cause.
Thank you, Tim. That was a lovely speech. I'm very proud of you. And I'm not just proud of myself, I'm proud of everybody that got involved in this, including you, Tim. So good job, Tim, for doing, that was a good poem.